Welcome ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Edge here, and today we are at the third round of the BBB Season 1 tournament, and in this series we'll be starring one of our clan's finest, Chief, versus ODM's The Chosen One. Now for the army of Chief as the Empire here, he is actually going for a box build, using the state troops to form a circle around the squishier missile troops, as well as holding a bunch of mobility reserves, the Empire Knights, even using the Impassable Lake as a terrain to break up enemy formations. Now this might be a problem for the Chosen One since he does not have the kind of artillery to smash apart a static formation, but with some great prizes on the line, the Chosen One will be giving his best to pull apart this box. If we go into fast forward mode, we can see that the Chosen One is concentrating the stronger forces onto one side of the battlefield. Using a bunch of Chaos Trolls combined with the Chaos Warriors, this will be a quite scary line breaker force, but that alone is not enough to punch through the front line and then face the missile troops. So he will also be maneuvering some mobility, the Hell Striders and some Marauder infantry to encircle the Empire box. Now the Empire army needing to maintain the box, the Knights and the state troops cannot move out and attack the enemy Marauders and counteract their movements. The only option for Chief is to hold patiently, waiting for the Chosen One to take the initiative. The Chosen One will be charging in his infantry, the Marauders, Chaos Warriors, and more importantly the Armored Trolls. This combination of forces is strong enough to punch through the state troops front line, forcing Chief to pay attention to this side of the battlefield and react with a good portion of his Empire Knights. With the reserved troops pulled away from the front line, that means the back door is wide open, leaving some major gaps in the formations for the Hell Striders to exploit. Even if Chief was able to pull back some spears to protect the handgunners, the Hell Striders can simply move to hit up another target, as there is nothing to stop them inside the box. They can quickly wreck any Empire unit with their devastating rear charge and pull out of the engagement, as the Empire right now investing so much into the frontline engagement simply lacks the resources to counteract the Slaanesh mobility. Especially with the Armored Trolls crushing some of that state troops' resistance, the Chaos Forces were able to rout off the handgunners, and at this point, Chief doesn't have a lot of options to turn this game around, with the box no longer existing due to a lack of state troops. Marauder Horsemasters were able to freely charge down some handgunners because of a lack of protection. Even if the spears tries to catch up and drag them down, they can simply pull out of the melee fight. There are some Empire troops regrouping on the far side, but at this point it is probably too late here. The state troops cannot repel the Armored Trolls / Chaos Warriors combo, and Karl Franz has taken massive damage in the fight against Archaon and his lackeys. With Karl Franz's health low enough to be finished off by a single Spirit Leech and the state troops being so depleted, Chief will be losing this first game. Now this battle actually happened in patch 2.3 and I carelessly recorded it in patch 2.4, so after a bit of rollback, I realized there is a little bit of difference in the battle outcome, with Karl Franz actually got slain by Archaon before he could ever get back onto the sky, and as a result, army losses hit the Empire hard and losing Chief this game. Now for the army performance, state troops didn't really do too much here, as they were just no match for the Chaos Infantry, the Marauders, the Warriors, and even with their numbers and the help from the Empire Knights, they simply were not able to hold back the Chaos Trolls enough. Some of them were able to break into the backline, while a lot of resources diverting into stopping the Chaos Trolls means that the other side of the formations were open for the Hell Striders to sneak in and run down the missile infantry, leading to heavy losses of the backline here. The Chosen One methodically picked apart the box of the Empire, exposing weaknesses by diverting resources away from certain points of the formation. Archaon did some massive damage, with the Searing Doom and Spirit Leech constantly draining the health of Karl Franz and bombarding the state troop front line. Overall, a great game from both players, and next up we'll be going into a quick summary of the next two battles. The second battle of the series is a Skaven mirror match, with the two armies going for a quite different approach, albeit having some similarities. Chief goes for a monster-heavy army with a lot of Red Ogres and a single Helping Abomination, as well as a double Assassin plus Grey Seer Bell build. In contrast, while Chosen One still employs a bunch of Red Ogres, he put more focus on mobility, and that is why we are seeing a whole lot of Wolf Rats as well as some Night Runners on the field. And it is with this mobility that the Chosen One was able to establish better control of the battlefield. His Ikit Claw's hamster wheel gives him enough speed to avoid engagements while dropping spells and abilities left, right and center to weaken the enemy units. At the same time, the Wolf Rats with their speed advantage were able to pick off any separated foes. As a result, Chief's army was routed off bit by bit and chased off, slowly pushes his army to army losses, giving the Chosen One a second win, and that means Chief needs to win the third game to stay in the series. The next battle is more predictable, with the Chief going for High Elves and the Chosen One going for the Ogre Kingdoms. Honestly, I'm just surprised that the Chosen One did not ban High Elves when he picked the Ogres, because as an Ogre player, I can verify this is the worst matchup for them in the entire game. The Chosen One here is trying to go for a bit of artillery kiting using the Iron Blasters and Lead Belchers to thin out the High Elf infantry support, but the problem is that there's just way too many Azers. The Lothian Seagun and Archers are doing massive damage to whatever lightly armored Ogre units they can see. Even the Lead Belchers at the back have already taken massive damage from the arrow fire, and on top of that, some Illyrian Reavers were able to disrupt their firing. Every single Ogre unit is taking massive damage in every engagement they seek, either from the staunch line of spears or the hail of arrows from all kinds of crossfire. The only units that are holding the entire army of the Ogre Kingdoms together are the Iron Blasters and the Sky Striders. But with their Caster Lord and the rest of the army gone, they simply cannot carry this game on their backs. Seeing Imrik on his dragon before them, they're just not willing to sacrifice their lives just for some pointy ear shish kebab. They'll be fleeing from the battle, giving Chief his first win in this best of 5 series, and will be moving on to the 4th game in the next tournament spotlight.